r/Nosleep. Posted by u/mysteryaddict98. My dad is a private detective and I regret following him into the woods. Hi. My name's Emery. You can call me Em. I'm here to tell you all of my secrets. I wasn't born a girl, and my parents didn't have any problems on how I change. But besides from being a strange, queer, peculiar, different, or whatever you call me, I have way darker things I keep on the wrap. This one wasn't even a secret at all. Pretty much all the people in the campus knows it. Big thanks to the bullies and fake friends for taking the lid off. But there's really a lot of things they still didn't know about me, and if ever they find out, my life or theirs could be at stake. Let's start where it all began. It was Saturday afternoon. I was in the living room being a couch potato, while Dad was being tied up in his office room. He was a private detective, and he makes good money from it. Dad once got involved in some dangerous supernatural missions related to unveiling the existence of vampires or the activities of the cults and any other things nothing could explain. He even has a collection of odd trophies he got from those missions. From photographs of cults doing ceremonies to certain parts of the fossils of bizarre creatures, like vampire fangs for example. He has these all displayed in his office. I was binge-watching Netflix as I heard his phone rang from his office room. I jumped off the couch and ran towards the door. I leaned my ear against it and heard Dad's muffled voice having a conversation over the phone. "Found one again, huh?" he asks his caller. I wonder what this call's about, but it interests me. "Well, how much can you pay me for that?" Dad asks his caller. He's probably being hired on a mission again. This is it, I said on my mind. My dad is a badass. No matter how much he play with fire, he always survives. That's why his company gave him a code name of Survivor. I know his missions are pretty dangerous, but I have a pretty positive mind about it. In fact, it makes me curious. There are times I would sneak up to his office room to take a glimpse of his collections, or sometimes beg him to take me with him in his missions, but he simply wouldn't fucking let me. Telling me it's too dangerous or whatsoever. Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. He finally hung up. Upon hearing this, I sprinted into the garage and hid at the back of his car. This is it. My heart was pounding with excitement. I don't know why I'm doing this. Something's just forcing my body to do such crazy things just to satisfy my curiosity. I heard Dad opening the car door and slipping in the front seat. He finally started the engine and drove. I was at the back seat stuck between being worried and exited, and guilty. I know curiosity killed the cat, but I just can't help myself. Why am I doing this? I just sighed as the car continued to run. We finally arrived at the scene. We pulled up at a forested area. I think we're at the mountains. As I heard the click of the knob of the car door, I slowly got out of my hiding spot feeling sorry for what I've just done. "Hi Dad," I said with guilt. That's when my dad stared at me, wide-eyed. Emery?" Dad utters as he tries to wipe his eyes to see if he's hallucinating or whatever. "What are doing here? I thought I left you in the house," he said in shock. "I'm sorry Dad, I just can't help it." "Okay, fuck it. Now what did I just do? You know how dangerous my job is, Emery. And I don't want you to get involved. Do you even understand that?" Dad raised his voice. I can tell he's panicking. "Relax Dad. I won't do anything, you can just leave me in the car if you want. I'll just stay here and wait, and there won't be any trouble," I said, trying to calm Dad's nerves, but deep down I was low-key happy for the stupidity that I did. "Oh yeah? Judging by what you did right now?" he said. Dad closed his eyes and rested the back of his head on the car seat and sighed. "I knew I just put both of us in danger, his behavior says it." "Wait. Are you crying again Dad?" I said as I noticed him being silent for almost 20 seconds. Honestly, it makes me laugh sometimes seeing him like this. Dad is so overexpressive sometimes. I remember the time I came out to him, it wasn't good at first, until hours later. He came bursting into tears telling me how much he loved me and supports me for whatever I want and how he wanted to protect me at all costs and anything. I know Dad is a badass detective, but behind those toughness is an overprotective, soft and caring father. I find it quite funny and adorable, and I'm pretty much thankful for having a father like him. Dad shook his head as he finally swung his door open and traveled into the back of the car to open mine for me, but he abruptly stopped me as I get off my seat out of the car. "Listen carefully, I can't leave you alone in this car. I need to take you with me at all times, it's insanely dangerous if I leave you here all alone. Whatever happens, stay close, hold my hand at all times. Whenever you hear something in the woods, don't mind it, pretend you didn't hear it. If you heard it from either of the sides, Just look forward. If you heard it in the front, look down, and if you heard it from the back, don't ever turn your head in that direction. They don't want you witnessing their appearance, or even seeing their activities, but if you did, accidentally, you have to tell me so we could run as fast as we can. Remember, curiosity killed the cat. Are we clear? He said. Yes sir, understood. I rolled my eyes as I let him treat me like a toddler again. I finally slipped off the car and walked with him in the woods. This forest looks scary. Pretty much looks like the type where people would enter and never get out. It was so quiet. I didn't even hear the birds chirp. I remember Googling about this particular situation. If there's an absence of chirping or any sound in an area in woods, it means that predators are nearby. This new mission of Dad is probably about some bizarre creature again. I guess, but whatever it is, it excites me. I'm slightly terrified and curious at the same time, and I'm low-key happy for that stupidity that I did. My excitement grows as we walk deeper into the woods. There's nothing I could hear besides from the eerie silence to the screeching of leaves as we step on them. I looked at Dad in front of me. His head was just fixed in one direction, facing away. As we silently walk further, I noticed something strange happening. The sounds of our footsteps on the leaves seemed doubled. It was just me, or I feel like I was hearing extra footsteps? The further we walk, the more I was feeling uncomfortable. I just looked at Dad, never turning my eyes anywhere else. But then, it happened. I heard a blood-curdling scream of some animal far from behind us. It sounded like a cat, being attacked. No. I'm not talking about the sound of some normal household cat. Although it sounds cattish, but it seemed deeper. I think it was a cheetah or some other big wild cats. I couldn't figure it out. It was screaming around like it was being attacked and dragged across the leafy floors of the forest. The screams got louder and louder in seconds. So fast, until another split second passed, I almost heard it behind us. Without a second thought, I looked back, completely forgetting what Dad said earlier. But I saw nothing. The sound was completely gone. I started hearing my fast heartbeat as the screams were replaced by an eerie silence once again. Did you look? Dad said, wide-eyed, panting. I scanned the surroundings trying to find where it was. Emery! Dad yelled, causing me to break out of my trance and face him. I saw nothing, Dad. But what was that? I said as I turned my head back at the direction once again. Dad touched my cheek, stopping me from looking back and gently turning my face back to him. Have you forgot what I've said earlier, sweetie? He said gently, but I can sense he's mad serious right now. Sorry, Dad. I bowed down as we continued walking the trails. We finally arrived at Dad's destination. There were yellow plastic strips with the word crime scene printed on them, fencing the scene. In the middle of it lies a lifeless body of a deer. Its neck was badly ripped out of place, exposing some of its disgusting insides. The smell was terrible. Beside the lifeless deer stood two police officers, examining its body. Dad finally let go of my hand, and said some stupid rules again. Stay here, sweetie, just stay in this spot until we're done with this. Don't ever take a single step away from this spot. If you notice the place changing, and you can't find us anywhere, just stay. No matter what happens, don't believe what you're seeing. It's just an illusion. Whenever you find yourself in a different place, just close your eyes and focus on our voices. Are we clear? Dad said, looking serious with his eyes fixed into mine. Okay, Dad. Fuck these rules. What he just said was low-key interesting. I'm gonna listen to him this time, but what he said was so thrilling. Dad finally walked away to join the officers. I just stood on the spot, not moving as one officer handed him a clear Ziploc bag with something inside it. Another stupid trophy, I said to my mind. I looked onto the leafy branches of the trees above me, covering the blue skies. There's not a single bird chirping. I can only hear the wind whistle mixing with the hissing of the leaves as the branches sway back and forth. This shit is getting boring. My feet hurts already. I turned my head back to where my dad and the police officers are, but they were gone. Even the deer was gone at the scene. All I can see was those yellow plastic strips tied on the trees. What Dad said was real. This is so amazing. I didn't close my eyes. Instead, I scanned the surroundings. The place was pretty much the same though. It never changed. I can still hear their voices from a distance, but they just weren't there. My heart was pounding. I don't know what's going to happen to me being in this situation. I'm scared of the fact that something worse will happen if I don't obey Dad, or much worse, I could die. I just closed my eyes and focused on what I hear than what I see. Then, I heard the same screams again, far away. What the fuck was that? I felt shivers climbing through my body. I just closed my eyes no matter what. This is not real, I said to myself. I can no longer hear Dad and the officers. All I hear was silence. And the screams, which was slowly coming closer again by the time. Closer. And closer. Louder and louder, until I heard it again behind me. I still did not flinch. Then, it stopped. I heard Dad's voice calling me from the scene. Come here. You can open your eyes now," he said. I opened my eyes, only for it to widen in horror, as hundreds of crows descended from the trees and flew towards me. Who the fuck would stick to what Dad said in this kind of situation? The crows could eat me alive if I stayed on the spot. Without a second thought, I ran. The birds are all around me. After about a minute of running and shoving, I saw something that made me stop in my tracks. I freaking saw it. A guy in black hoodie jacket and dark brown pants stood before me, holding a dead leopard in one hand. His eyes were glowing blue. Pale skin. Blood dripping through his mouth. He stared at me with a sinister smile on his face. My heart pounded like it's punching its way out of my chest. I don't know what's going on in his mind, but I know he trapped me into something and he could attack in any second. The sounds of the crows were replaced by an eerie silence. I just stood there, not moving at all, just waiting for him to attack me. That's when he suddenly moved in an unbelievable speed towards me. I turned away, preparing to run for my life. But before I did, I felt his hand on my shoulder. I can't move. It seems like he was preventing me from moving. But then, I felt his breath on my left cheek. He whispered something to my ear. "Time to wake up now, Emery," he said. Wake up? What does he mean, wake up? I said to my mind as I stood frozen at the place with him preventing my body from moving in just one touch. That's when he uttered the most confusing thing I've ever heard in my life. "You're not human." Then, he disappeared out of nowhere. And I was back at the crime scene. I can now see Dad and the officers. One of the officers got something from the remains of the deer. She held it with a big tweezer and called out to Dad. "Sir, I found something. Here," she said, showing the tiny thing to Dad. "Well, this is interesting," Dad said as he glanced into whatever it was. I couldn't see it clearly from where I am, but the officer said something that gave me another shot of curiosity and confusion. "I'm not sure what this is, sir. It's pretty identical to human nails, but this one is thicker," she said.